Brought to you by the Purple Rain Podcast. Today is an interesting one for me and Lady because we are going to be talking Germany's bench stuff. Let me out. Let me out. Hold my ring. Let me out. Let me out. No, you have to join the queue. I want to both pick them as well. Because, right, Germany, I feel, is one of those European nations who should be breaking through. Especially how you look at the men's side. In 2018 in Pyeongchang, they won the silver. Nobody going into that tournament, and this was the first tournament out NHL involvement, nobody goes to that tournament thought that Germany would get a whiff at a medal. Never mind silver. Right, you think Finland stood a better chance? Well, because Finland, I feel, is a country that is playing second fiddle to the Yanks and the Canadians. So I thought, in that year, right, well, there's no Canada, no US that could really threaten. I think it's going to be Finland's year, and it didn't happen. Because Germany came being with the surprise factor. But interesting, the following Olympics, 2022, they finished 10th. They didn't even get close to defending that medal. Yeah. But, and the women's side, again, they haven't really had much success either. Now, I just feel like, yeah, it just, you know, and going into that World Championship in Prague, me and you both kind of felt Germany could have a very good chance of coming second in the group. Yeah, because we both kind of felt, we were both on the same page. We felt Sweden will top that group. And then the question is, who's going to come second? And we all thought it could be Germany. Yeah. I'm just going to look up how many times Germany have actually been in the Olympics. I just want to have a look at that. Yeah. Because that might help give an indication of how we feel. Okay, so they've been in 3 prior Olympics. 2002, 2006 and 2014. In 2002, they came in 6th place. In 2006, they came in 5th place. And in 2014, they came in 6th place. So that's not bad. Now, that's not bad, but yeah. So Jeff McLeod is who will be coaching Germany in the Winter Olympics in Milan. Now, he hasn't been with the national team for that long. No, he hasn't. He has not. He's only been, I'm just going to double check this, just to make sure I'm right. I believe he's only been with the team since 2023. I'm just going to double check this. Yes, he has. So he's only been with the national team since 2023. And in that span, we look at the World Championships. Germany in 2023 came in 8th place. 2024, 6th place. And 2025, 8th place. Right, so Germany have been very dangerously close to the relegation zone in the last 3 World Championships. Well, that goes further back to that. You got, right, they've kind of been hovering sort of like 7th to 9th, and in 20, I can actually go through some of the history. In 20, so we'll go from 2010 onwards, yeah. So between 2010 onwards, so in 2011 they were first in Division 1, got promoted to the top division, but they got relegated in 2015 back down to Division 1A. One promotion the following year, and since then have not left the top division. So since 2017, Germany have been in the top division, but they've been skating very much on. Like, you look at some of these positions, you think, you are literally borderline staying in the game. And this is a nation that really should be up there competing with the best of the best. Yeah, but it just, I just don't have confidence in Germany. I really don't. Because if you could not, who else was in that group in Prague? Group B, yeah. Japan, Sweden, Germany, Hungary, and Norway. And the fact that Hungary and Norway didn't really show up, that kind of saved Germany. Yeah. Because remember, Hungary and Norway in 2024 won promotion. And they just went then straight back down. They got relegated straight again. Now, Germany did not play well in Prague, but just didn't. And yet they scored more goals than Japan. I think they got about 11 goals, while Japan about 8. So they got more goals than Japan. But because of the fact they had a 2-2 record, that just spoke the ball to you. Yeah. And it meant they had a better. It meant that Japan had a better player than Germany, because that meant that Germany had to go and play us, while Japan played Canadians. Now, I'm not saying the results were different the other way around, but oh dear. Yeah. Might be a bit more expected for Germany if they played Canada. No. It made light work of both Japan and Finland in the knockout stages. They did. Oh, they did. Yeah, that was a shock. Particularly the semis, it was a shock. Because, like, Finland, it's like, what? Yeah, what? Yeah, no. So, I honestly do not have any confidence in this guy. Yeah, like, none whatsoever. Even if you get any future players involved, I'm just, like, thinking, well, nope, not confident. And Germany have had a bit of a coaching carousel over the last 7 to 8 years. With that, if you look at as a whole, it's like an NHL roster. They just like to keep changing the coaching every now and then, and thinking it will work, and that will fix the problem where it doesn't. Yeah. So I'm just not confident in Jeff McLeod, because he's not proved to me in the 2 World Championships that me and Legia followed. He's not proved to me that he can take Germany to the next level. Yeah. Because you easily should be able to get second in your group. Yeah. Regardless of what the Japanese and Swedes do, you should be able to get at least second in your group. You should be able to be competitive in your group, and they were not. And in fact, if we look at how many goals they conceded in Prague, and this might tell a different picture. They conceded 9 goals compared to 11 they scored. So that's very rare to get a goal difference of plus, but come third in your group. Yeah. And if we look at how well they did in that group, because it was a 2-2 record for Germany, they didn't do well against Sweden. Lost 5-2 to Sweden. Against Sweden, so you're not going to have a chance there. Then they won against Norway convincingly. That was 5-2. So it's again, Norway wasn't that much of a threat in the tournament. They beat Hungary 4-1. But then lost to Japan 1-0. I remember that game because that was the game that was going to decide who was going to finish second. Yep, that was the game that was going to decide who was going to finish second. It was a bit of a dull affair. It was a bit dull. Yeah, with only 1 goal scored. Yeah, so it was kind of a dull match. Yeah, so Germany beated the teams they learned them, did not beat the teams above them. And that's what you kind of need to do in Group B if you want to stand a chance and make it to semis. You've got, because in Group B, you're likely going to play lesser teams. But then when you get to Group A, that's when you got to step up. Yeah. But it's just like, we're not impressed with Jason as a whole. Like, seriously, come on. That game against Sweden should have been a lot closer. Yeah, wasn't. No, wasn't. No. It was not. So I agree, George. I am not confident in Jeff McLeod's performance. I'm not confident in Mr. Coach. And I would not be surprised, because remember, only the top 3 in Group B will go through. Now, what's interesting about Group B is, yes, you've got the 3 teams had to win qualification to get in. But these 3 teams were in the exact same group in Prague. Now, France and Italy are the odd ones out in this tournament as a whole, because 8 of these teams have faced each other in the most recent World Championships, and that's a rare thing. That's a rare thing. The fact that our group is the exact same group as it was in Prague, that's a rarity. That's a rarity. But I'm pleased, because it means that we're not going to have the bloody Russians. Oh yeah, the last 2 tournaments we've had the Russian team. Yeah, not that. Yeah, thank God for that. Thank you very much, IOC, for stepping in, sending our prayers. Yeah, so that's a rare thing. France and Italy, we've got no idea what they're going to be like, because they played in the lower divisions in the World Championships in 2025. Yeah, so we're not really familiar. Although for 2026, Lady Me, we are going to keep a close eye on Division 1, because obviously that tournament will be played in April. The top division is not till November. So we're going to be in 2026, we're going to be in this unique position where we're going to know who's won promotions to the top tier before the top divisions even played a single game. So we're going to keep a close eye on that division. After the Olympics, we will, and after the PHL season has wrapped up, we will do an episode on that when we will be able to see who more about the 2 teams that top that division, who will then go to be promoted for 2027's tournament in the top division. Yeah. We could do it like a build up to Denmark. Yeah. We're going to wait. Because obviously, that Division 1 tournament happens towards the tail end of the regular season. Yeah. So we're going to wait till after World Cup Bars has been done. And then we're going to do that. Yeah. So that's what the episodes we're going to have for in the summer. Yeah. That's what you're saying, Paul? I'm saying that if we were to have a shock NQ in the group stages, I would not be surprised if it's Germany. It would depend on how they play against Italy and France. Yeah. Because I think Italy might have a chance, because they did that camp in Montreal. Yeah. And we know who is behind the general manager's office for Italy. Yep. Montreal Victor was Daniel Soriano, Hall of Fame inductee. So yeah. So Italy, it could be interesting. Could be very interesting, because I don't think Mayor's giving Italy a chance, but we know you don't. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, because you've already got 2 teams in that group that Germany's not going to do well against, and the toss-up is Italy and France. If they can somehow take scouts out of Germany, that could then really hinder Germany's chances of getting through to the knockout stages, and we're going to have a shock on our hands. But I will not be surprised, because Germany, the last few years in the World Championships, they played with fire. They have got so close to getting relegated. Yep. Well, if we look at it compared to the other tournament that we've been involved in in 2024, we look at that as well as 25. So the margin of error. So in 2025, right. So 2025, Germany finished 3rd in the group stage in Group B, collecting 6 points. 3 points ahead of Norway, who are in 4th place, and of course Hungary got nothing. They did not win a single game. So and Norway only, and insult injury for Norway only scored 1 goal. Only scored 1 goal. Or was it Hungary? So, sorry, I mean, that's how wrong. Hungary got 1 goal, and Norway got 7 goals. So there's a goal difference between Germany and Norway, because Germany got 11. Or was it? So my math is off. 4. But Hungary only getting 1 goal there. What does that say for Switzerland in Group A? Yeah. Yeah. So the margin between Germany and the 4th place team was 3 points. So normally I need potentially like another win, and then it would have got very interesting because then you would have to look at what the tiebreakers were. Mm-hmm. Now, if we look at if we look at 2024, which was the first tournament mean that you were in bold with. Mm-hmm. If we look at that, in that year Germany were in Group B. And in that group, you had in 2024, you had Germany, Sweden, Japan, China, and Denmark. So basically, it was the teams that had competed in the Beijing Olympics. Now, interestingly, in 2024, Germany won that group outright and did not lose a single game. And they scored 13 goals, conceded 2. So, you are capable of beating Sweden. You are capable of beating Japan. So what happened in Prague? Because if you were able to top your group in Utica, in a group where you had Sweden and Japan, then you should be able to have done that in Prague, where you had Sweden and Japan in the group again, but then this time you were joined by Hungary and Norway, which are complete no-shows. So just like... I don't know what to make of Germany. I don't. It's just unpredictable. I don't know what kind of squad we're gonna get from Germany in Milan. I just don't know. Are we gonna get 2024's Germany, or are we gonna get 2025's Germany? If we get 2025's Germany, then as I said, we could be on course for a shock NQ. Okay, but it's just so hard. I'm not confident. I'm just not confident Jeff McCloud is going to be the guy to coach this team in Milan and coach it well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because ultimately, 24, despite winning your group, you still did not do them well in the knockout stages because you ended up coming in. What was it? Six. You ended up coming in 6th place there. Yeah, I've not really got anything positive I can say about Germany's coach. I'm not confident in this coach. Hey, you two want to try and fit round us off? Please do. Yeah, I mean, I think for Germany, this is going to be a really difficult tournament for them to watch because you just don't know what kind of roster we're going to see from Germany when we get to Milan. Because the fact that we've now compared the last 2 World Championships, the contrast is stark. Yeah, I mean, you top your group in 2024, and the following year, you don't even come in the top 2. You come bad, despite scoring more goals than the team that came in 2nd place. And they should have recognised how important that last group match was, because that last group match was going to determine who was going to finish 2nd, who was going to finish 3rd, which basically was going to decide who's going to play the US and who's going to play Canada. They didn't show up in that. The fact that Japan got that, squeaked that through, I think that should have sent the alarm bells ringing in Deutschland. Ringing that, this team's not as good as you think it should be. So the fact is that, I mean, just... But you two know they are capable of getting wins over Sweden. They are capable of getting wins over Japan. Yeah. But it's the fact is because of their performance in Prague, that's what's doing it for us. It's like, because that's the most recent international we have to go off. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, we're looking at this and thinking, right, well, they did poorly there. What to expect from us? Don't blame us. You can't blame us for going into these limits thinking, well, Germany might not do well. I mean, you think Germany probably would be a shoe in for the quarters? Well, maybe not. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting for Group B. It's going to be very interesting for Group B because with Group A, with everyone already going through to the quarters regardless, it's just about placings. But with Group B, that's where the competition lies in the group stages because only 3 of those 5 will go through. And if Italy somehow gets firepower, that could cause a ruckus. France might cause a bit of a ruckus. I'm still not confident about France getting to quarters. I still prefer France. This is to be used as a learning curve, ready for when you have your home games in 2030. That's how I see France. That is how I absolutely see France going forward in Formula One. But Italy, because we're confident with their behind the bench staff, and the fact they have that centralisation camp in Montreal, actually in Montreal, they could pose a threat. They could be a surprise factor in these games. We just do not know. Until we get a single game played, we're not going to have an idea of how things are going to stack up. Yeah, so that's what's going to make this tournament really interesting. But I just feel I'm not confident. It's not. It's not proved. Can we just look at 2023 to compare? I know we didn't watch for a bit, just compare because it's 10 years. Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, because he's only been with the team since 2023. Let's just compare that for one more comparison, and then we probably will have to go. Because there's only so much bashing we can do. Okay, in 2023, Germany were in Group B. Oh, interesting! In 2023, Japan were in Group A. Ooh! But came bottom. Well, that's interesting. Japan were in Group A that year. Didn't do well though. So Germany were in Group B with Finland, Sweden, Hungary, and France. Finland in Group B. Yeah. And in 2023, Germany came second in the group. They picked up 1 loss. I'll look at that in a moment. Scored 11 goals. They gave it 6. Let's look at who that loss was to. Probably was Finland. Yeah, it was against Finland. Yeah. So, we look at 2025 and think that's an anomaly because Germany have done well, did well in 2023 and in 2024 in the groups. We look at that as a bit of an anomaly. Depends what happens in Denmark. if they don't come top 2 in Denmark, then I think that's alarm bells. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Yeah, but interesting that Finland win Group B in that year. Wow. Yeah, wow. School day, kids. School day. Yeah. So I don't know how. I don't recall if Japan were the better and Sweden were the better teams in that group, despite record show. But well, I don't think Germany played as well as they could have, and that was the problem, because Germany easily could have been second over Japan. But that it's so tricky because Germany should be one of those teams that should be competitive, but they're not. They have not been in the past year, and that's the problem going into Milan. If you haven't done well your last tournament for the Olympics, then don't blame us for thinking that we don't hold that much high hopes for you. Don't blame us about that for thinking that. That's how we feel. We're not gonna check. Yeah. So, bad thoughts. I will not be surprised if Germany yankees. I will not be surprised. He does not give any confidence to me whatsoever. You know what? Me neither.